Hello, beautiful people. How are we today? Are you good? I didn't say happy 2021. Well, happy 2021. I hope your year is beautiful. No, I don't want this. Today I'm going to talk about meditation. I'm very excited. Start being very straight to the point. I started meditating when I was 18 years old. I went to uni and I studied and I worked at the same time. So I would leave my house at 7 o'clock in the morning, come back at midnight. It was tough because I was not used to this routine. I chose it for myself. I didn't have a lot of time to put my energy out there, and I've always been a very energetic person. And I would be working in offices the whole day like this. So I went to uni and I studied in a place where there was it was a huge campus. And there was a gym and also a few courts for us to play sports together and a running track or something. Anyway, I went to the gym, started doing a lot of exercise every day. Between arriving in uni and starting classes, I would run like crazy from work so that I could catch the train still a little empty, so that I could rush from the train to uni. And I started doing yoga. I had a little bit of contact with spirituality since I was very little. I have had like dreams and contact with that, but the thing is that no one around me had this kind of connection. So for me it was a little bit like maybe exoteric, like maybe a little mystic. I did believe in it, but I just didn't have any knowledge. And I don't know if you guys know, but I'm 29 years old. I'm not very old. In 1991, when I was born, there was no Google. There was nothing. So you had the books from the libraries and stuff, but very few libraries had material about that. You know what I mean? So you thought that someone that meditated, that did yoga, was like a guru that walked around the city barefoot and lived in an ashram for 47 years of his life. You know what I mean? Was bald because of the Buddhism, and well, we just had no contact with that. And a lot of families do have it, but my family did not have. And I'm not a Catholic, but I come from a Catholic family. I started doing yoga, hatha yoga. It was the best exercise for my body. Like till today, nothing tops yoga for my body to develop. I spoke to my yoga teacher and I said, oh, dude, I'm working a lot and I'm studying a lot and my brain is just like going 1,000 miles an hour. I can't sleep. And he said, I know what you need. You need to meditate. So we started with 5 minutes and we went to 10 and then 15, and nowadays I meditate 20 minutes a day religiously. I've been doing it for 11 years now, and if I have extra time, which is very often, I do like 1 hour of meditation, or I do like several meditations during the day, like several 20 or 15-minute meditations. I do it to align the chakras, I do it to connect with my spirit guides, I simply stay in silence for 20 minutes, I do visualization with mantra every day. It was very difficult at first. It took me like 7 months to be able to meditate properly, like to legit shut my mind, which was legendary, I will tell you in a minute. But it started tiny, like 5 minutes. He would just say like, okay, everybody can go home, thank you for the class, and then he would say, you, my darling, you sit here, we're gonna meditate. And so I was so uncomfortable, and I had so many trust issues when I once started to meditate, that he would say like, close your eyes, and I would do like, and then I would do like this, what? You don't trust? 20 minutes of closed eyes, or like 5 minutes of closing your eyes, like you can't take it? What the hell? So he would put something in front of my eyes so that I couldn't see regardless. He would trick me with smells and mantras and textures and music and visualizations and laying down, standing up, and experience with different senses. Shouldn't be that hard to say, eh? And so when my mind was starting to obsess and like, oh, today I'm going to talk about a mantra, today I'm going to trick that mantra, I'm not going to meditate, he would give me something else, and then he would trick my mind, and then my mind would be like, oh shit, I wasn't prepared for that. And so he knew how my mind worked. The first time I meditated, it was historical. It was so special. My mind was blowing up with thoughts. I was feeling ants in my face, itching everywhere, feeling uncomfortable, pain in the lower back. My body was trying to do everything he could so that I didn't meditate. It was like a freaking fight for me to meditate. Then my mind started to think so much that at some point she just couldn't take it anymore. And you know when you have a storm or something and the light just drops in the street and then your whole house is completely dark? This is exactly what happened to me. I was like overwhelmed. I couldn't stop thinking, and the keys just dropped. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. I was floating. I was just floating. I had no resistance, no gravity. I didn't have any thoughts in my mind. It was all dark. I started to see the light here without anybody having to tell me that I should do that. And I was so sensitive to every energy in the room. I knew everything. If someone came a little closer to me, I knew. And I started doing, like I started swinging like back and forth, like a crazy maniac. This back and forth would make my mind even more, like even lighter than it was before. It was the best feeling in the entire world. The next days, what started happening is that I put my thoughts like if they were Polaroid pictures, So I would see one of them here, and I was like, oh, you're there. Okay, I accept you. So then the thought would come here, and I would think it. And then I was like, no, that's okay, I don't want you anymore. And then I started to and throw my thoughts to the universe, you know what I mean? I didn't throw them away. I fully accepted the thought, and then I just threw it to the universe. And at some point, the thoughts just didn't want to come. So I stayed for more or less 1 year with no thoughts in my mind. Then something very curious started to happen. I started to feel a very strong energy coming into my hands, then later on my legs, but it was like if you had put my feet and my hands in the plug, like electric shocks everywhere, but it was it was a great feeling. And then I started to feel this energy coming from here, from the top of my head, directly from the crown chakra. And then my entire body would be energized. Once the energy started coming into here, I would feel like something took over me. So I would feel like if there was an energy, like pair of hands holding me like this, and these hands would take me to this side, and then take me to this side, and would just play with my head, And this pair of hands started to be something very beneficial to me, because when I had a problem, these hands would come, hold my head like this, and direct me directly to the channel of energy that would help me sort that problem out. From this moment on, I started to feel like my body was self-regulating itself way better than before. Digestion became way better. My intestines working way better. I started eating way slower. Before I would just like swallow the food, and then I started to eat way slower. I would feel like eating fruits, vegetables, water, like I would absorb information way more than before, and I would remember things that I had already heard of way easier. So like I didn't have to study for tests in uni anymore, to the point where my mother really thought that I was doing a shitty university, because she was like, you don't study, how come you take good grades? And I was like, I meditate. And I felt like I was way calmer. I didn't lash at people anymore. I was feeling so good about myself. And then I went to Australia. It was a very tough period, because I would feel very good about myself, but then my life, everything around me did not have a connection with who I was inside. So then I had to change my reality to match more or less what I had in meditation. You know what I mean? It took me a few years. This was not like, oh, in 1 month I changed everything and then I ascended. No, it really wasn't that way. It took me freaking 11 years to do that. I went to Australia, and when I got to Australia, I started to go through my Dark Night of the Soul process, which was a really complete and very harsh and beautiful and intense phase of my life. And because I was starting my Dark Night of the Soul, there was a spiritual channel that was more open than the regular channel of regular people, you understand? Because I needed that so that I could lose my identity and discover who I was actually meant to be. This is what happened. Because this channel was more opened, meditation became something way more intense than it was before. So I started to get out of my body a little, and I would be like here, and I would watch my thoughts. Like if I was a third party watching my mind work. So I was completely disconnected from my physical body at that moment, and I was watching my mind think. I wasn't overthinking, but I was thinking. And I could see that and analyze, like if it was me talking to you now and you analyzing me talking. So this energy started to happen in my life. I started to feel like my body would do something like this, while I was meditating, kind of like a weird dance, and it was pretty natural. If full moon came, it would be even more intense. And now what has been happening is that I meditate and get out of my body and just astral project while I'm meditating. So I get to travel and get the answers that I want without having to dream, because before I was triggering the dreams, because I knew the dreams would bring me the answers, because I've always been a huge dreamer. Now I can do this while I'm awake. So actually everything that everybody tells me that they feel when they smoke weed, when they have psychedelics to help in their spiritual journey, when they have ayahuasca journeys, everything that my friends tell me about this kind of experience is exactly what I feel. The only difference, and they know my opinion, is that I did not have to intoxicate myself to get the experience, because someone when I was 18 told me that meditation would come with discipline, and if I had the discipline, I would never have to intoxicate my body, and my body would give me exactly what I needed, because it would be fully in sync with spirit. You know what I mean? All these dimensions that we have inside of us would be fully brought to the surface and fully experienced. Because the thing is that meditation, you just have to sit and be quiet. You don't need more than that, and just breathe. And then you will receive all that. But you need discipline, and you need to have will. But people don't have discipline, and they don't have will, and they are so scared of themselves, and they don't want to look inside. So then they pay a little bit of money, and then they have a huge trip, they have a huge experience, and then they say, oh my God, it was amazing. Yeah, it really was. I do not doubt it was. And it is a part of your process, and I'm not judging you for doing that. What I'm saying is, you don't need to spend money, and you don't need to intoxicate your body necessarily to get a spiritual ascension. I got mine without using anything other than what God and Mother Nature have given me from the day that I was born. I am stardust. I am a part of everything there is. How come I need something created by humans to ascend? I already have everything that I need inside of me, and the tools that I developed within my journey are just for me to evolve. But I already have everything that I need to learn how to use the tool. And if you connect to the divine in a powerful way, you automatically are going to be better than you were yesterday, and the tools will come naturally. You're not going to have to struggle that much. And plus, when you have the psychedelics, the weed, the drinks, the ayahuasca, it can be sacred. It can be something special. It can be something important to you. I am not saying it's not. The next day, you have the fall from the mountaintop, from the summit. You have a fall. When you meditate, it's peaks and valleys naturally, and you just accept it, and that's it. Because the problem with the substance is that your body loves to be on the top, and then you spend a lot of energy to be in the top, and then you don't balance the level of energy that you use, and then when you fall, you don't have enough energy to survive the valley. So you need to buy another one and then go to the peak again. You see what I mean? I'm not saying that you're a drug addict, that you need the substance. This is not what I mean. But you have to understand that this is a very important experience for your life, and I do understand that. But you don't need to have this experience in order to be ascended, to open your vision, to connect with dimensions. You just have to use what Mother Earth already gave to you. You see what I mean? So meditation for me was something like a life-changing thing, and I really, really, really encourage you to start. Start with 1 minute. Go to 2. Go to 3. Don't be in a hurry, you know what I mean? It's not about the hurry. You just sit and breathe for as long as you can. Aye, the camera battery finished. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. See you guys next week.